know that Jesus is alive gives me a lot of hope. It gives me not an absence of fear, because I do struggle with anxiety and fear from time to time, but it gives me that underlying hope of glory, and the knowledge that there is now no condemnation for me. And that is something it's taken a long time for me to learn and to trust, but that is true for me. I often will hear myself saying things that are not true, that God doesn't love you. Is God really there? Is he really good? The same questions that Eve was asked. And to tell myself the truth, to preach the gospel to myself, is really important. And every time I roll my eyes at a Bible story that I've heard a million times, I tell myself, Ruth, listen to the story again, because you forget so easily. In times of doubt, it comes down to, do you hold to what you believe? Do you really believe God, what he says? And the answer has been yes, even after a really hard time. It's kind of like it has to be. So I think that's the grace part, is that there's that gift of faith that is given to me, that yes, that is the answer, but that belief part and wrestling through what is it that I believe has been important. Motherhood is the season I'm in right now. And so it's made me think a lot about my relationship with God, and how often I see that relationship between myself and my sons, and just see God's grace in my life, his faithfulness to me, his kindness and forbearance and patience with me, and how often I just don't see his plan. I don't see what he has as good for me in the moment, but it's given me an added layer of trust in that he's watching out for me. He knows what's going on. There's a plan. I just can't see it yet. The other day I was doing a recipe with my toddler, and so we're going through the steps, and I know the plan. I know you need to mix the dry ingredients before the wet ingredients, and he doesn't. He doesn't know what the final outcome will be. He doesn't know these steps, and he's just blindly trusting that I know. And of course he wants to do it his way, which may not result in the desired outcome. And so having that patience with him, and just, I really know what's going to happen. Trust me. And so I hear that, trust me, in a different way. The two questions that John had sent were, what does it mean that Jesus is alive? And what does it mean for you personally? So for me personally, I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to parent my children perfectly. God has their hearts. No matter what I do, God's will be done, and it's not on me. So I think that's the overarching blessing for my life.